Today we're going to be looking at a bunch of tips that are going to help you guys be much better at Modern Warfare 3, and you can be one of the best players in every single lobby that you get into, whether it has crazy skill-based matchmaking, no skill-based matchmaking. Guys, we are going to get you way more kills, get your KDs up. Let's do it. What is up, guys? My name is Nick and welcome back to another Modern Warfare 3 video. Like I said, man, today we're going to be talking all about tips, how to play better, my play style, what I do in order to get more kills, to get higher kill gameplays, and the gameplays that you guys are watching in the background. The first one, you're going to see me get a DNA bomb. It doesn't come fast, guys. I'll explain why. And if you guys want to get DNA bombs yourselves, listen to these tips. I'm going to help you guys out tremendously. And then the other video, you guys are going to see a video where I get 129 kills, one of my highest kills on Modern Warfare 2, or 3 I should say, which is crazy with the skill-based matchmaking in this game. Dropping something like that on my least favorite map, you guys will see that as well. So I'm going to help you guys get those type of gameplays for yourselves and get all these things for yourselves as well. Now, if you want a DNA bomb, it's super simple. You just got to get some kills, get your streaks, and then let your streaks do the rest of the work for you. If you get streaks, as long as you get up to 25 kills, it counts with streaks as well. So make sure that you're using streaks that are going to do the job for you, but more into that in a second. Let's talk about the first thing, the one that I think is probably the most important, and I'm going to let you guys know there's not many settings tips in this video. This is basically gameplay tips. There's going to be one or two things in the settings, but basically this is going to be how you play, your play style, and stuff that you got to change. So the first thing I want to talk about is to play slow. Don't play like a headless chicken. Don't rush out there. Don't go running and gunning and all that kind of stuff. There's a time and a place for that, and most of the time in Modern Warfare 3, it's just not there. You gotta adapt to the way the game is meant to be played, and this game is meant to be a little slowed down. Always have your gun up, be ready for when the enemies come to you and stuff. So what I would suggest is to hold down certain areas up until the point where maybe there's no more teammates around you. Then you might want to get away from there because there's more chances that the enemies are going to come to you. You're going to be in a 1-on-2, 1-on-3, 1-on-4 situation. You're not going to win those. So make sure that you stick towards your team, but in a place where you could pick off most of the kills. And it's good to stay in certain areas until those areas get dry, which means your teammates are gone, or until those areas get overflown by enemies. Like they're all going to know you're there. They're all going to start pushing there. That's when you want to switch out and go somewhere else. Now, one thing that I'm going to say, guys, is you gotta use the meta weapons. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys, oh, use whatever gun you want. Sometimes it doesn't work like that. This game has meta, and you got to be using it. You got the MCW. I suggest the MTZ. It's slept on like crazy. It's so good. I really suggest the MTZ. You got the Super Eye. All those type of weapons are the weapons that are dropping people like crazy right now. If you like sniping, maybe use the Kar 98. It's still good. It's still really nice. And I would suggest using these type of weapons rather than using a weapon that you just want to use because it's fun. If you're trying to go for higher gameplays, if you're trying to raise your KD, you're gonna have to use the meta. You're gonna have to use weapons that will drop the enemies before they could drop you. If you're using something like, I don't know, let's just go with the SOA Subverter or whatever it's called, versus something like the MCW at mid-range, you're probably gonna get outgunned by the MCW. So make sure you're using the right gun for the right map. Now, if you like ARs, it's great. Build them for mid-range, build them for long range, and have them pretty good for close range as well. But if you guys like playing with SMGs, use those just for close and mid-range. Don't try to use an SMG at 100 meters out. It's just not going to work. Now, one thing that I want to say, and some people might give me slack for this one, you guys might not like it, but hold as many head glitches as you can. I'm not joking when I say this, guys. Hold as many head glitches as you can. And what is a head glitch? In case you guys are wondering, some people don't know what it is, I'll say it quickly. It's when you stand behind an object. Let's pretend my hat here, let's pretend this right here is like a garbage can or something. When you stand behind it and only the top of your head is actually peeking out like that. On your screen, you're able to hold your gun over it, you're able to hold everything over it, but the enemies only see this part of your head right here, which makes you a very hard target to hit. It makes it really easy for you to get a bunch of kills and stuff, and it's just overall really good for you. And the best is if you use attachments that give the enemies flinch while you're holding a head glitch, you're going to be shooting at them, they're going to be flinching up. They have that little tiny part of your body to hit. They're not going to do it. You're going to win a lot of your gunfights. Now, when you're in the maps as well, whatever map you're playing on, whether it's small, large, medium, whatever map you're playing on, try to stay away from the middle of the map as much as possible. As you guys can see in the gameplay in the background here, as you guys are able to see, I don't really go towards the middle. When you go towards the middle of the map, you're giving the enemies every single angle to get you from. They could be in front of you, beside you, behind you, on top of you. They can literally be anywhere. Don't do that. If you go to the edges of the map, let's say you run to the left side of the map, you're on the left now, well, you know that if there's no doorway to your right, there could be no enemy to your right. There could be an enemy in front of you, maybe behind you, but if your team is still behind you, then you know that there's no enemy there too. So now you're focused on one area, you know the enemies could only come to you from the front, and you already have your gun pointed in that direction. It's gonna help you guys win a lot of gunfights doing stuff like that as well. So make sure you guys are doing that as well. That's really important. But one other thing I want to say, and this one is the one that you guys could go to the settings for. This one is also pretty important, but it's something that I would suggest changing right away, and that is your center dot. The center dot in the middle of your crosshairs, you want to make this as large as possible. Where do you go? You go into the settings. From the settings, go to interface. Don't go anywhere else. Don't go to controller settings. Go to interface, and you're going to see center dot. You're going to set it to large, and you're going to thank me later. This thing right here, man. Once your center dot is really large, it's so easy to ADS at enemies and lock onto them really fast. It's just really nice. It makes you see the enemies really fast before you actually ADS. And what I really recommend doing, this is something I do in a lot of close range and mid-range gunfights, is as you're ADSing your gun, you want to already start shooting. And with that center dot, it's going to go align perfectly with the enemies. You're going to start shooting as you're ADSing, not before, not after. Don't wait until after, guys. You're going to die a lot. Don't wait until after, but as you're ADSing, already start shooting your weapon, and 1 or 2 shots will hit the enemy, and by the time you actually fully ADS, you would have had 1 or 2 shots already hit the enemy, rather than if you waited to fully ADS then shoot, because then that way you'd have no shots that hit him until your ADS. This way you'll drop him really fast. It'll only take 1 or 2 more bullets once you're fully ADS, and I recommend doing that. It's good, it's nice, and it is what it is. Now, one thing I'm gonna say, and this is something that's kind of important as well, if you know that there's a line of sight where a lot of enemies come down, let's say you turn a corner and you know there's a lot of enemies there, don't blindly turn that corner. Don't just turn the corner sprinting and hope for the best, or if I see someone, maybe I'll ADS and shoot at him faster. Chances are that's not going to happen. Chances are they're sitting back there waiting for you, and it is what it is. What I recommend is every time you turn a corner or something, don't just turn the corner and look. Have your gun pointed. Even if you're not ADSing, have your crosshairs pointed where you think an enemy is going to be. Now, what I would suggest is to always ADS when jumping around corners and stuff, but I can't say that that's going to happen every single time consistently. There's going to be times where you're running and you're just not going to do it. I'm sure I do it as well. You guys are probably watching the gameplay in the background. Maybe there's corners that I don't ADS as well. It's not going to happen 100% of the time, but what I recommend is that most times you could do it. All right, guys, you're gonna thank me later again for this one. This one's nice. And anyways, let's go to one of the tips that we were talking about earlier, because I kind of want to get into it, and that is streaks that are gonna do the work for you. So there's a lot of streaks in this game. There's a UAV, cool, but do you really need a UAV up if most of your team is gonna run a UAV anyways? I personally don't run UAVs unless I'm playing search once in a while. Maybe I'll throw a UAV up, but I don't really need it. Especially if I'm playing small map mosh pit, you already know where the enemies are coming and stuff. The UAV is nice, but there's red dots on the map again. People are shooting without suppressors. You could see all that. You don't need the UAV at all times. So what I recommend is, let's say you can't get something crazy high, like you can't get the swarm consistently, don't put it on. Don't put it on. Put on something like the VTOL. That'll get you quite a lot of kills. A sentry turret, that'll get you quite a lot of kills as well. And just stuff like that. You can even put up a little drone in the air that's gonna fly down and hit someone. As long as it gets you a free kill or more, the better. VTOL is nice because that thing just goes really crazy. The support helo, the one that follows you there, whatever it's called, I forget what it's called, that one is good too. Now, if you could consistently get these every single match, you're always getting a VTOL, you're getting it like every second game, you always get one, it's easy for you. Move up a notch to higher kill streaks. These are going to help you guys do even better. And I recommend score streaks. I recommend switching to score streaks rather than kill streaks, especially if you're like me. Hop on the objective, hop off it, do whatever you got to do. You'll get it a lot faster. It's going to be so much easier to get those than if you had to get 14 kills without dying, for example. So make sure you guys are running score streaks. Go play the objective, get a lot of kills while you're on the objective, and you're going to see it'll take like 4 kills to drop something like a VTOL or whatever. It's going to be so easy for you guys to get. So yeah, anyways, once you consistently get the easy streaks, move up into a higher bracket of streaks. Once you consistently get those, move up and up. Like me, I always run the swarm, and I get it a lot of the times. Some games I get it 4 times, and that's just because, well, I've consistently done that. I didn't always run the swarm. It wasn't always my first kill streak to run. I built up to that level where I was able to constantly earn that over and over again. You guys kind of got to build that, see how you get these faster. And what I really recommend, like, I think my swarm, you could probably go back somewhere in this gameplay. I'm pretty sure that I got it with less than 10 kills, especially if you're playing the objective. It's really easy to do. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, and it's one that it's not the nicest thing to talk about, but you got to use your teammates as bait. You got to do it. I've been saying it for years. You got to do it. I'm probably the first person who started talking about that, and I would always recommend doing that. And the reason I do it is because there's some teammates that are just so useless at the game that the only time they're good, or the only thing they're good for, is being bait. So might as well use them as bait. And what I mean by this is, let's say you're in an area of the map, you know there's enemies on the other side of a door, or you know there's enemies on the other side of a corner or something. Don't push it yourself. You don't know how many enemies are. There might be 1, there might be 3, there might be 5. You don't know how many there are. You don't want to be the one to push it and die. It's not worth it. Wait for a teammate to come around, let them go, let them do what they want to do, and then you pay attention to how many people started shooting at him. You could either look at the minimap, see some red dots, you can listen to the different gunfires coming out and stuff. You hear that it's a one-on-one, hop that corner, especially if you have the red dot on the minimap, you now know where that dude is. You could just hop around there, pre-aim, start shooting him, and do what you gotta do. Now, if you know there's 4 people there, turn around and run away. And actually, that brings me to a bonus tip, because that just made me think of something that I wasn't gonna mention in this video because I didn't think of it, but guys, it's okay to get away from gunfights. I'm serious. It's okay. If you're losing a gunfight, you don't have to stay in the gunfight. And too many times I see people, like, they'll start shooting at someone, they'll miss a couple of shots, the enemy will shoot back at them, they'll get them down to 1 shot, and instead of hiding behind the cover that's right beside them, they continue trying to shoot as they're missing. Guys, it's okay to readjust, it's okay to reset, it's okay to get out of there, come back, and do what you gotta do. It's all right, it's not bad, right? And something that I do a lot, and especially in search and destroy and stuff like that, is I'll shoot at someone. If they turn a corner and they're like more than 20 meters away from me, I'm not chasing them, because I know by the time I catch up to them, they're either going to be behind a head glitch aiming, waiting for me, they're going to be prone waiting for me, they're going to be something waiting for me, and they're going to be fully healed up. So that's not worth it in my opinion. I instead just leave them, just go somewhere else, wait until I get into another gunfight, and I'll eventually get them. That's how you gotta play. You gotta just play like that, guys. Don't just keep pushing every single thing, because that's how you die a lot. But that's gonna be it for the video, man. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to drop a like, sub to the channel with those notifications turned on. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Nick, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.